Well, I was eating something, but
what are you eating over
Gretchen
there?
is here making something with zucchini. I just want to say something about Jackie first. Jackie, we are lucky to have her in Western New York because she is network caliber. She is the best reporter and anchor combination, I think, anywhere.
I grew up watching her.
She had told me right from the beginning, you always have to remember you have a life after, so have kids. So thank you, Jackie. All right, Chef Gretchen, once again, I'm lucky to be in here.
Yes.
We're making stuff with zucchini because we're at the end of the
zucchini season. If you're going to use it up now. And I got 2 ways that we can use up our zucchini.
Not just sweets, which I love.
Not just sweet, I know. I'm venturing out of my comfort zone here. How dare I do savory? How dare I go there?
And when you say savory, you're talking stuff that you can eat main meal.
Yes, main meal or with some soups, because I know soup season's coming up and everyone's going to make their soups in crock pots. Chilies, salads, you know, just something to put on the side. And it's a zucchini basil. And you can add any sort of Parmesan cheese, garlic, or any other spices that you want to maybe match with your soup or whatever you're having. So we're going to venture into some savory.
I can't wait. Let's tell folks what kind of ingredients they're going to need to get together.
Basic, simple. Your zucchini, obviously.
It doesn't matter, yellow or green?
I used green just because that's what they had at the farmer's market, so I grabbed green. Just flour, some baking powder, salt, baking soda, a little bit of sugar, not too much, we're not looking for sweet. And then we have some eggs, some buttermilk, oil, Parmesan
There's that buttermilk
cheese.
again.
There's that buttermilk again. We're going to make our special homemade buttermilk.
Lemon and buttermilk, all right.
And our zucchini. And like I said, anything else, and our basil that you want to flavor it with, you know, you can go from there.
Excellent. And how long do you think it'll take to make something like this?
It goes by, it's real quick, actually, because there's not a lot of mixing. You don't want to overmix this, so not a lot of mixing. Maybe, you know, 15 minutes in the oven, and you want to make them and eat them the same day.
All right, terrific. Well, I'm going to eat them in the same day like today. Thank you very much, Gretchen. We're going to put some of this together when we come back in our next segment. Back to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in the kitchen. Chef Gretchen from NCCC, and she is making Parmesan basil muffins with zucchini.
Muffins, yes.
And you're just showing me the different kinds of basil.
Yes,
this is actually basil.
It's purple. It's purple basil.
And it's different flavor?
Nope, similar flavor, a little bit spicier, a little bit stronger.
Smells a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's all they had when I went to grow my basil this year. That's what they had, purple, so I said purple it is.
Love it.
So what we're going to do is do a little prep work before we get going. You want to grate your zucchini with the skin on. Don't worry about peeling it or anything.
Try that. Look at this new
Try
gadget.
away.
It's got a rubber bottom so it doesn't move when
So
you're...
it doesn't slide.
Oh, wrong way. Look at that.
Yep,
All
and
right.
you want to grate it just with the peel on, raw. Don't have to cook it, don't have to do anything to it. So you just want to grate away like that.
Okay.
So you want to set that aside. In some recipes, you'll see they say to drain it between 2 towels. That's to get out any extra moisture.
Do you do that?
Sometimes I didn't. With this recipe, I found it wasn't needed. It helped, you know, with it. Also, what we're going to do is make a little bit of buttermilk. And if you don't have buttermilk, you want to get an acid like a lemon, some whole milk.
Or you said vinegar before, right?
Or vinegar you can use. And you just want to put about a teaspoon of lemon juice in. And then you're going to add your milk accordingly. And then you have buttermilk. And you want to let it sit for about 5 minutes.
Out warm?
Yep.
Does it matter?
Yeah, like as you're getting, yeah, it does.
Okay.
If it's cold, it could curdle your product because it's going to coat the butter, or if you have a cold fat in there and make it like cold butter again.
All right, when we come back for a longer segment, we're going to put everything together and get the muffins in the oven.
Yes.
But for now, we're going to leave you. When we come back, we're going to be talking about our It Gets Better videos, as well as show you some of them. We'll be right back. I just want you all to know that, you know, those $16 Justice Department muffins?
That's right.
I think we should charge $20 for these.
Yes, and we'll all split it.
Exactly, we'll split the profits.
Yes.
Gretchen from NCCC in, and you were making zucchini parmesan basil muffins.
Basil muffins.
Savory for like a soup, accompaniment for the main meal.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And you know what? They're fast. They're no yeast, so you can make them that day and eat them that day, so you don't have to wait for them to rise or work or do anything. You can make them, eat them, done. So we're going to keep on prepping. We have our dries. We're going to combine all of our dries, and then we're going to eventually combine our wets and combine the both, mix it up. But I just wanted to show you a real quick little trick about basil.
This is
if you're
really
ever
interesting.
cutting a lot of basil, you want to take your biggest leaf and take your smaller leaves and stick them inside, and then you just kind of want to like roll them as best as you can. You know, just kind of tuck them under, and then a sharp knife, and just kind of cut. That way I'm cutting through all the layers at once.
Wow. Mine always, as I
Don't
said,
cut your finger
tear.
out. And then, while I have them here still together, if I'm looking for a smaller chop, I can go back.
Basil is pretty strong flavor.
It is. Can you smell it?
I can smell it too, and I love it. I love
right?
pestos.
It's very strong. So there, my basil is chopped and ready to go, and it's kind of a little medley of colors, which I'm enjoying.
That's beautiful.
So
Can
go
I
ahead
throw
and
these in?
dump. Yep, that's our salt, sugar,
Salt.
baking powder,
Our
baking
sugar.
soda.
Sugar,
We got
salt.
that set. Now I
Okay.
have my olive oil in here.
Should I stir it?
You could stir it. I have my olive oil in here, my buttermilk, and my 2 eggs. And I'm going to mix this till combined. Yeah, stand back.
She's getting wild, crew.
Fast and furious over here. I just want to incorporate a little air into it.
You want air in this?
Just a little. I mean, I have a lot of leavening going on to make it rise, but I just want to mix with my trusty whisk.
That's what I've noticed with our cooking segment. So many chefs use the whisk.
The whisk.
I never even use that unless I've got, my Easy Bake Oven out.
No, it's a great little tool. And if you ever see recipes that call for sifted flours or things like that, and you don't necessarily have a sifter on hand or don't want to go through the hassle of
You whisk
sifting
it?
you could
Dry?
whisk it just to aerate it. You know what I mean? Like you could just kind of break up the lumps, give it a little air.
Wow, very clever.
Won't replace totally sifting it, but, quick enough. So we just want to,
Put a little hole.
yep, make a well.
Well,
My favorite thing, make
pretty
your well.
word.
And you just want to add your stuff. And you want to leave this slightly lumpy. You don't need to, really, really combine it. You just kind of want to,
You don't eat it like a cake.
no, like you're not looking to, you know how you make pancake batter and you leave it a little lumpy, sort of? The lumps are good.
I don't mean to. I just end up that way.
That's good. So you're doing it the right way the whole time. You didn't even know.
It's the story of my life. All right,
So you're just going to add this. So you have this, and then you're going to add your zucchini.
should I be preheating the oven?
Yes, your oven's going to be at a 350 oven, and like I said, probably, maybe, depending on the size, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. So we have our zucchini and garlic.
Garlic,
I add a
right.
little bit of garlic. I'm a garlic person.
I am too.
And like I said, I left the moisture in. I didn't drain this between the 2 paper towel routine, which you sometimes see.
The water won't matter.
For me, I'm not finding these to be incredibly, juicy zucchini, so it seemed to be okay. And then I'm going to take my basil.
Can I just fold it a little?
You can fold away.
Now, is this something that you have to worry about? Oh, it's a lot, denser than I thought. You made it look like it was so...
Right. I know.
Wow.
It's kind of dense, yeah, so...
Can you overmix muffins like you can
Absolutely.
bake? Okay, then here,
Absolutely.
I'll give it to you.
You're doing
Shirley.
fine. No, you're doing fine. Yes, you can absolutely overmix them.
And what will happen? They'll just be tough?
What happens is they get holes, like really elongated holes throughout when you cut it. This is called the crumb, and you'll see like big tubes, which means they've been overmixed. So
Don't want tubes in your muffins.
You don't want the tubes in your muffins. So right, so I'm just folding it in, and the zucchini sort of helped the moisture. And now the batter's a little bit looser.
Okay.
Done.
Done. So now, just pop
I
them in?
just was using you can use the tablespoon. I was kind of scooping them in. I got about a dozen.
You think that's too much?
Nope, that's perfect. You'll probably actually go back and maybe fill it up a little bit more.
Oh, all right.
So you're going to keep doing that.
And the Parmesan we don't use
And the
until...
Parmesan, as I was making these, I was thinking it would be nice to even fold some complimentary cheese in it, or add the Parmesan cheese into it, or you could sprinkle the cheese on top. Whichever visual effect you were sort of going for, it would all look pretty and be delicious.
I would just like ground and that kind of visual, that it would look palatable. Okay, so then I'll move over here and you can do whatever you need to do.
Then we just kind of sprinkle.
Okay, I've got 30 seconds left. So you just sprinkle it on top?
Just a little cheese on top. Just a little garnish.
All
Little
right.
garnish for our muffins there. And that's it. And I used a liner, and you could always use, if you have a larger muffin cup. Victoria, what are you doing?
I know. Oh my gosh. We had a road cupcake holder.
You can always make them larger, or if you want to do them in a loaf pan and then cut them into slices, you could do that too.
Okay, and this can be
whichever.
served next to a soup.
Yep, with the soup right out of the oven. Like I said, same day you make it, you want to eat it right away.
I can't wait for our second helpings. Are we actually going to use the muffins?
We're going to sort of use the
Tease.
muffins, and we're going to continue on with our zucchini. Because we want to get its cousin sweet.
We'll take your guesses when we come back. So in our next segment, we're going to do a second helpings. Back to you guys. Welcome back. Before we get into our second helpings, just want to thank all of you out there. We've had an unusually high traffic day on our Facebook page with everybody commenting on everything from Jackie Walker congratulating them to our It Gets Better videos. And we want to encourage you to get involved. Do it yourself. There's a link there to allow you to create one of your own. So thanks so much for everybody for watching today, as well as taking part in joining us, your comments. Gretchen, now, a very creative idea for our second helpings.
What you want to do is, like I said, these don't have a tremendously long shelf life, but long enough. If you do have some extra and you have them in this sort of shape, you can just cut them sort of into...
What kind of shelf life are we talking? How long will these last? Do you have to keep them refrigerated?
They highly suggest that you eat them the day you make them. If you were to make them a day ahead of time and then pop them in the oven, maybe warm them back up and then serve them, okay. But like we're talking like a 2-day max. Like
Not
you want to
like
eat
the breads.
No, the sweet breads can have up
to a week,
10 days refrigerated. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily want to leave them unrefrigerated.
Right.
But what you want to do if you have some of these left over is cut them into like little toast pieces and put them on a baking sheet and allow them to dry out in your oven, you know, to a kind of a toast consistency, and then use your food processor or anything like that and chop them up. Then you have breadcrumbs. And what a flavorful breadcrumb this would be with garlic, and you could have your cheeses in it if you ever put onions in, the zucchini, you know, something like that. And I would also suggest storing these in the refrigerator just in case you didn't use them up fast enough. They wouldn't go bad sitting on the counter.
We should tell the folks that during our break, Joe and Allie came up and it was like a food frenzy. We were like sharks with, we're going to have fish tonight, and I think some of our crumbs ended up in your hair.
Did you get in my hair?
That was Joe, I think.
Joe, thank you.
All right, so you can use these pretty much.
These.
Joe made a great idea.
Yes, he suggested using them for meatballs. Joe, our chef.
I did.
He's very creative.
I think breadcrumbs. That works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, if you're doing this, make sure you make sure you're doing enough zucchini and get out your zucchini bread recipe and make a sweet one. Don't forget about our sweet sister here.
Absolutely. These are my favorite. You have made the best zucchini bread I've ever had.
Thank you. Yes, and make sure it's heavily spiced, and you can add chocolate chips or walnuts. I've even seen a pumpkin zucchini one, which looks delicious.
Ooh, that sounds good.
We're going to have to talk more about that later. Back to you guys.
All right, she'll have to come back and make the